It's early October and we're out planting food plots. So I want to take a minute to kind of go over the way that we do it down here in the South and kind of our method for planting food plots. First thing to kind of make note of is a lot of times we think of food plots as kind of more or less a bait pile. And in our case, that's not really our intention. We do hunt over the food plots, especially later in the season. As the fall progresses, the browse starts to dry up. The hard crop with the acorns and stuff like that, they start to dry up or sour, and there's just not as much nutrition. So the better your plots are, the better they get as far as attracting deer and hunting over them. But on a property like this property is 400 acres, and it's probably 80% planted plantation pine trees. So other than the browse and the little green plants that are in the thickets, it doesn't have any agriculture on it, and it doesn't have as much mass crop in terms of oak trees and things like that. So we plant the food plots for carrying capacity. We're providing food for the deer, and in the way that we do that, so that we have a solid food source. And it's all about really holding our deer here as much as anything as far as hunting over. So the way that we do it, you can see the plot I'm standing in right now. I've been prepping this plot since the summertime. So we'll come in the summer and we'll spray a weed and grass killer, and then I'll break the plots up. I usually do that in August. So I'll mow them late spring, early summer. I'll come back and mow them again and spray them in June or July. And then in August, I'll break them up and let them sit broken up like this for a month or so. And then in our part of the woods, we're gonna plant in early October. If you plant too early, there's bugs and worms that'll eat up your seed, and you won't have good plots when it gets really cold and things really start to die off. So that process starts again. We mow the plots and we spray them with weed and grass killer, and then in August, I'll come in with the disc and I'll just break them up. So what I'm gonna do when I do that is I'm actually using the top link in my 3-point. I'm actually gonna pick the back of the disc up some so that the front set of discs really dig in and really break it up really good. And what you end up with is these kind of rows and big chunks. And so hopefully we get some rain and that aerates the soil and it starts to kind of get the seed bed ready. And then when we come back now, when we get ready to put the seed and fertilizer out, what we'll do is I'll actually back that down so that all the disc is sitting on the ground, and it's really just breaking everything up and kind of smoothing it out and powdering that up. And it makes it really easy to do because I've really just got to run over it one time, bust everything up, kind of level it out, powder up that dirt, and get it ready to put seed and fertilizer. So for us, we're gonna do a seed blend, and we're gonna use a product called Super 13, which is basically a triple 13 fertilizer. It's enhanced with lime, which helps with your pH, and it also has micronutrients. And these micronutrients are basically just things that are commonly found to be lacking in our part of the world in the South. And those things are just gonna not only make your food plot seed grow better, but it's gonna make it more palatable and more attractive to the deer, provide them more nutrients. Okay, so I mentioned we're gonna do a 10-way mix. And in that mix, we'll have wheat, oats, rye, peas, rape, which is a broadleaf type of plant, 3 different kinds of clover: crimson, ladino, and arrowleaf, purple top turnips, and chicory. So the reason that you want to plant the seed mix like this for us is we have a long season. This stuff's going to start growing over the next 10 days, and we want it to be growing and sustainable all the way into February, and really all the way into the spring for our turkeys and our pregnant does and all that, so we continue that food source. So it's not really about diversity. It's, that's part of it, because each one of these different plants provide the deer with something different in terms of nutrition, but they also grow in different stages. So throughout the season, you have a sustainable food source. Some of these things are gonna pop up and grow really fast. Some of them are gonna grow slower. So over the course of 3 to 4, even up to 5, 6 months, you have stuff growing that's sustainable for the wildlife in the plot. So what we're gonna do after I disc over them and get them ready, we got another tractor running, it's got a big seed hopper on it. We're gonna mix about 100 to 200 pounds per acre of the fertilizer, and 150-pound bag of this seed mix will do 1 acre of grass. And we've got about 9 9 plots and probably 7 acres total on this property. So you'll have 400 acres with 7 acres of food plot. So when you get all this done, like I said, just to kind of recap, the idea is we want to provide food throughout the season and into the spring for the carrying capacity of like how many deer per acre we have on this property. We want to make sure we feed them, we keep them around, we keep them healthy, and we get them all the way through. For us, a basic 6-foot disc and a seed hopper with a wildlife food plot blend and a triple 13. Like I said, I like to use a super 13, which has the other stuff in it. It's worked very well for us, and when we get into the later months, these food plots will fill up with deer in the afternoon, and it'll even attract deer from all around and keep them right around here, and it just makes our hunting better. So that's kind of how we do it in the South.